Our first story takes us deep into the heart of New Hampshire, where a young man, still grappling with the recent loss of his grandfather, seeks solace in the familiar embrace of his church. It's there, amidst the hymns and whispered prayers, that he encounters Kaylee, a name that drips like honey, sweet and alluring. She's everything he's not, enigmatic, a little dangerous, radiating a captivating aura of mystery. Her eyes, however, hold a depth of sadness that speaks of a past shrouded in shadows. They find themselves drawn together, their conversations filled with a strange intensity that belies their short acquaintance. She confides in him, revealing fragments of a troubled past, of fleeing an abusive relationship, of seeking a fresh start in this quaint New Hampshire town. He's captivated, his better judgment momentarily clouded by her charm and vulnerability. He agrees to a drive, a chance to escape the suffocating grief that clings to him like a shroud. But as they drive, the air inside the car begins to shift, thicken with an almost palpable unease. Kaylee's demeanor changes, her bright smile fading into a vacant stare. Her words, once laced with warmth and laughter, morph into incoherent whispers, guttural and chilling. Her eyes, those captivating pools of emerald green, roll back, revealing only the whites, stark and terrifying against her pale skin. Panic seizes him. He pulls the car over, his heart pounding against his ribs like a frantic drummer. This is not Kaylee. This is something else, something sinister, something that has taken hold of her, twisting her into a grotesque mockery of the girl he thought he knew. He fumbles for his phone, his fingers trembling as he dials for help. But before the reassuring voice of the dispatcher can answer, Kaylee, or whatever has possessed her, throws open the car door and bolts into the dense woods that border the road. He stumbles after her, his calls for her to come back swallowed by the oppressive silence of the forest. But she's gone, vanished without a trace. Our next story takes us on a desolate stretch of highway cutting through the unforgiving Nevada desert. Our narrator, a lone traveler, finds himself battling a raging storm, the relentless rain and angry assault on his windshield. The wipers struggle, their rhythmic swish suddenly silenced as they give one final pathetic squeak and fall still. Blinded by the downpour, he's forced to pull over, his car a lonely island in a sea of swirling dust and driving rain. He sits there, engine idling, a captive audience to the storm's fury. The air crackles with an unnatural energy, a palpable tension that sends shivers crawling down his spine. He feels it then, a prickling awareness, the unnerving sensation of being watched. His gaze sweeps across the desolate landscape, searching for the source of his unease, and then he sees them. 3 figures silhouetted against the storm's fury, their forms distorted by the driving rain. They move with an unnatural gait, their limbs jerking at odd angles as they advance towards his car. Each figure holds a flashlight, beams of light cutting through the darkness, their movements erratic, unpredictable. Fear, primal and instinctive, surges through him. He ducks down in his seat, his breath caught in his throat, his heart hammering against his ribs. He watches, paralyzed with terror, as the figures reach his car, their lights now dancing across the interior, casting grotesque shadows that writhe and contort on the fabric of the seats. One of the figures raises their arm, and for a moment, he's certain this is it. This is where his story ends, swallowed by the vast emptiness of the desert. A gunshot shatters the silence, the sound echoing across the barren landscape. But they aren't aiming for him. The shot is fired into the air, a warning, a signal. Just when the terror becomes unbearable, red and blue lights pierce the darkness. A police cruiser pulls up behind his car, its siren a deafening wail that slices through the storm's fury. Relief, sweet and overwhelming, washes over him. He's safe. He scrambles out of the car, rushing towards the officer, his words tumbling over each other in his haste to explain, to describe the chilling figures, the gunshot, the overwhelming sense of dread that had gripped him only moments before. But the officer's reaction is not what he expects. There's no look of concern, no sense of urgency in his demeanor. Our final story takes us on a road trip with 2 friends, their laughter and shared jokes a stark contrast to the chilling events that unfold. They're driving through the desolate heartland of America, the highway stretching before them like an endless ribbon of asphalt. The miles melt away, the hours blurring together as the sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon. They decide to stop for gas and snacks, eager to stretch their legs and refuel before continuing their journey. They pull into a small town, its silence unsettling, the air thick with an almost palpable sense of wrongness. The buildings are old, many boarded up, their paint peeling like scabs revealing the rot beneath. The streets are deserted, not a soul in sight, the only sound the mournful sigh of the wind as it whistles through the empty streets. They find a convenience store, its fluorescent lights buzzing, casting a sickly yellow glow over the dusty shelves and the lone figure behind the counter. As they approach, the narrator notices something strange. He recognizes the woman behind the counter from a previous stop, a town they passed through hours earlier. He nudges his friend, pointing out the woman, his voice hushed, a knot of unease tightening in his gut. But his friend doesn't see it. He dismisses it as a trick of the light, a figment of their weary minds. They grab their snacks, pay for their gas, and leave, the unsettling encounter already fading from their minds. But as they drive, doubt begins to gnaw at the narrator. He can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. They circle back, telling themselves they need more snacks, a flimsy excuse that doesn't quite mask their growing unease. They pull into the same convenience store, their hearts pounding in unison. But the woman is gone. In her place stands a completely different person, their eyes wide and vacant, their smile strained as if pasted on. They decide to leave, their initial amusement replaced by a creeping sense of dread. They head towards the gas station, its pumps standing silent sentinels against the darkening sky, but something has changed. If you're still watching, you clearly enjoy a good scare, and I've got plenty more where this came from. So before we hit the last part, make sure to click that subscribe button. Join the crew, stay in the loop, and never miss a creepy upload. What ties these stories together is how they take the familiar, a quiet drive, a chance encounter, a pit stop, and twist them into something deeply unsettling. They remind us that beneath the surface of our everyday lives, there's an undercurrent of the unknown, waiting to drag us under. Each tale is a chilling reminder that we're just visitors passing through this world, and there are forces out there far older and far stranger than we can possibly comprehend. So, the next time you're driving late at night or find yourself in an unfamiliar town, remember these stories. That's the breakdown of today's disturbing true horror stories. Let me know in the comments which one creeped you out the most, or if anything similar has ever happened to you. Drop a like if you enjoyed the recap, and don't forget to subscribe if you're into this kind of content. I'll be back soon with another deep dive into the darkest corners of the internet. Until then, sleep tight, and don't let the shadows get you.